excuse a second. You look as though you're cold. This is actually summer, isn't it?
Yeah, supposedly.
Yes, supposedly, but it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Are you going to work?
Yes.
We're going to. Can we detain you for a minute? Are you running late?
No, not really.
No. What are these badges?
I work at Calvary, and they're Calvary badges. Yeah.
What is that? For those of us who don't know.
Calvary is a private hospital.
Right, and you're a nurse?
No.
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 Of course not. Why would you be a nurse working at a hospital? What do you do?
I work in administration.
Right. And is it shift work or
No.
just a late lunch?
No, I've been in a meeting at the health department on my way back.
I see.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you Hobart based?
No, well, I am now. I moved here 2 years ago to work from Victoria. Yep.
Was it just the job that got you here?
I'd been overseas for a few weeks and came back to my job and my home in Victoria and couldn't settle down and felt like it was time for a change. And a friend of mine gave me an ad for a job from Calvary and said, "You'd be good at this, Kirstie, you should apply for this." So I did, and I got the job and left everything behind and came here.
Just up and left?
Yeah.
Was there much to leave?
Everything. Family, friends, house, church, everything.
And is it still there?
Yeah, it's still there, but it's always different. You can never go back.
Yeah.
Life continues on even when you're not there.
And was your trip, that obviously stirred up something that you wanted to change in your life?
Yeah.
No particular reason?
I'd been in Warragul, which is where I came from, for 6 years, and doing the same job, living in the same town, and it just opened my eyes a bit, and I realised that there was more to life than living and working in Warragul, and it was time to see a bit more. Yeah. Yeah, it's time to step out of the comfort zone and have a change. Yeah.
And was it stepping out of the comfort zone?
Definitely. Oh, yeah.
Was it?
Well, I came here to a state where I didn't know a soul, and that was a big thing for me. I'm coming on my own, and
Are you normally a gregarious social person?
No, not at all.
So making friends is hard?
Yes, yeah.
That was a brave step.
Yes.
Do you think it was a wise step?
Oh, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Never regretted it, even though I cried my eyes out for the first 6 weeks every day that I was here. But no, never regretted it at all.
But your experiences here, apart from being lonely and not knowing anyone and things like that, was the rest of it okay? Was the work okay?
The work's been great. It was much better than what I came from. Pay's not as good here. But I gave up that for lifestyle considerations and other benefits.
You say you left behind a house.
Yeah.
Do you mean you left a house that you bought, or?
No, my parents owned the house. I was renting it from them, so I was getting cheap rent. I had great landlords and landladies, and it was easy because I had a dog, and it's always difficult to find somewhere to rent when you've got a dog.
Have you started to make a circle of friends and things?
You certainly have, yeah, small group, but it's enough for me, and I keep busy enough not to have to. And I guess, like living and moving here on my own, I've learnt how to enjoy and live on my own and enjoy my own company anyway. So I'm not as needy, I guess, as other people as perhaps what I might have been.
Do you think you might have acquired permanent itchy feet, or are you settling here?
Like I said, I've only been here 2 years, and that's probably not long enough. I don't know that I've got permanent itchy feet, no.
You're happy here? You don't feel as though you should be moving on?
I don't think I've been here long enough to have that feeling as yet,
What's the best part of it? What do you think? What was the nicest surprise?
Hobart's like a big country town, I think. It's got everything that you need, but without being too big. And I was just amazed, like, you try and drive through the middle of Melbourne, it's absolutely horrific, and yet it's dead easy around here. It's great.
What about drawbacks?
Oh, the bit of water in between here and the mainland's a bloody nuisance. Because whenever you want to go back, you have to fly or go across on the Spirit, and it's expensive.
Who do you miss most?
My mum.
And she misses you, I guess.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
She better.
Does she ring you and worry about you?
I hope she doesn't worry about me, but we talk to each other a couple of times a week on the phone,
Yeah. And your dad?
I tend to write to my dad, even though he and Mum are together and live together. We communicate better in writing than we do actually speaking to each other.
Why is
and
that?
Mum hogs the phone anyway, so yeah.
Yeah. What sort of things do you talk about to your dad that you don't talk about to your mum, for example? Or write to him about?
I guess I can be more specific or more personal with Dad in writing than I can actually talking to him.
Yes.
Yeah, whereas with Mum I could talk to her about anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Has it always been like that?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have any brothers and sisters at all?
I've got one brother.
And is he in contact?
Oh. I'm usually the one who has to initiate contact. His wife is actually better at keeping in contact with me than he is.
And is that just one of those things, or...?
It's just one of those things. I mean, he'd do anything for me and he's always there when I need him, but he's just not very good at keeping in contact.
And what are the other things that you do with your private life? Were you able to pick that up?
Yeah. Like I have an interest in gardening and photography and reading and all that sort of stuff.
You can
do that anywhere. Yeah.
And have you started gardening?
Yes, I put in a veggie garden this year.
Oh yeah? How's it going?
Pretty good.
What sort of veg?
Go on.
What sort of veg?
Oh, all sorts. I've got broad beans, broccoli, tomatoes, capsicum. They're not doing too good. My dog Megan.
So you bought Megan?
Yes, bought Megan with me.
What's Megan?
Megan's a Maltese.
How long have you had Megan?
She'll be 5 this year, so I've had her 5 years.
A solid relationship.
Oh yes, it's a wonder we've both survived this far. But
is there something missing?
Oh, I don't think so. No, I'm very.
Let her cry. If the tears fall down like rain, let her sing. If it eases all her pain, let her go. Let her walk right out on me. And if the sun comes up tomorrow, let her breathe.
Yes, mate.
Can I stop you, sir?
Yes, I suppose.
I have to be very honest with you and admit that the reason I'm stopping you because I've seen what your baby's wearing on
All right. Yeah.
his feet.
Hers.
Her
Yes.
feet.
Yes.
Very sexy gold sandals.
Tasmanian made too, they are.
By you?
No. There's a little company that make them here. They work out at Mornington. We actually wound up going to the factory to try and get some. So.
Did you? What you specifically wanted then?
Yeah.
Now, what I wanted to ask you, was in the city, not very often you see dads with prams. We sell a lot of ladies with prams.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the story? Are you a day off dad, or?
I am a day off dad, yes.
Right.
My wife is currently in a toy shop buying for our other 3 children.
I see.
So I'm not a great shopper like most males, I think.
Yes.
I'm more a come and grab it and go sort of thing, but shopping does me in, sitting there and looking at...
Why do you think that is? That's.
I heard an explanation once that it went right back to caveman times, and our job was to go out and club it, kill it and drag it back into the cave, right? And their job was to go digging for roots and yams and peruse around and find the right stuff that really tasted well. So that's a good enough explanation, I think. I've never come up with a better one.
Norman, but why are you a day off dad? And what I mean is it your own business, or can you just take time
I'm
off?
self-employed, and I like to take time off and do what we think are the important things to do, which is a change of priorities perhaps than what it was a few years ago for us, but the most important thing is the families.
What made you change that?
We had a fairly major financial crisis, that is sort of 6 or 7 years ago, and before that I was in the rat race running like everybody else was, and after that I decided we didn't want to be. So, and we find out we're having a much better quality of life. I'm still working, but I'm working to do things that I want to do in a way I want to do them, and spending a lot more time with the kids.
Did you lose any material possessions?
Oh, bucket loads, which was a great thing as well.
Yeah, nothing you miss?
No, actually, no. It was quite surprising. We're very, both of us, bemused back to a time some 4 or 5 years ago when we first came down to Tasmania, where our furniture and things hadn't arrived, and we spent 3 weeks with mattresses on the floor, a second-hand table and chairs, and a crockery and a cutlery set we'd bought from a discount store. And what a fantastic 3 weeks it was.
What were you doing before?
Before
the crash?
Before the crash?
Before your personal crash?
In financial services, basically, selling insurance and brokerage and things like that.
And now?
Now I'm back to my trade, working with my hands in the building industry, and self-employed, so doing whatever I need to do.
And getting your life, well, having got your life together, you feel?
Yeah, definitely. We've got 2 boys,
Yeah.
2 girls. The eldest is 11, the next boy is 8, the next boy is 6,
Right.
and she will be 1 in 2 weeks.
So it's a fairly young family.
Yeah, yeah.
Quite a big family too.
4. We're considered a big family now, it seems. Yeah.
Any more children?
Probably, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
You both think it's possible?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
You
My
like-
wife's gynaecologist keeps telling her what a good breeder she is, and
Yeah.
there's no reason why we couldn't keep having
Yeah.
perfect children, so it's not a burden.
And what does your wife do? Does she work?
No,
at
no,
all?
we made that decision 12 years ago.
With 4 young children, that'd be a little hard anyway.
She works at home, yeah. We've always wanted someone to be home with the children after school, and that's, yeah, we're happy with that, and that hasn't changed. Obviously, you don't, I keep saying this, it doesn't change what you do, it just changes the way you do things. We're leaving and go up to Queensland to see my family and her family over Christmas. That means we don't fly because it's $2,500 just to get you there, and then you have to hire vehicles. It's ridiculous. It means you go on the boat and you drive. You don't stay in hotels, you stay in caravan parks. You don't, it doesn't stop you doing stuff. It just changes the way you do it.
What was the background to you getting into that business, into financial services? Was it ambition? Was it,
Love of money.
sense of
To be honest, yeah, no, it was.
success was to be counted in dollar bills?
Well, yeah, and what I thought success was.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a Rolls Royce and all those trappings, but they were all leased and fully on the tick,
Yeah.
and you were forking out thousands a month and just having to run like hell to keep up to make everybody else a little wealthier, as it turns out.
Yeah. And before that, I mean, where was this? Was this where were you living?
In Queensland.
Yeah.
Yep.
And is that where you were born?
Yes.
So your family background, was that, were your parents pushing you? Were they good examples for you, or didn't they have anything and you wanted to have?
No, they were okay. They were well, they are still in well, they're not retired now, but in small business. They both worked. Yeah, contrasting background between my wife and I was enormous. She came from a very large family with a single parent in a time where there wasn't a great deal of social security help and things like that, so she came from a very much a struggling background.
How did you meet then, if you came from such different backgrounds?
Oh, you meet as young people do. We were 21, I was about 24, I think. And at one stage we wound up working in hotels, in the same hotel, basically, and then went out and did the things you do, and ultimately moved in together, and then eventually got married.
And were your parents ever, did they have a comment about her? Did they have a
Initially,
worry?
did they think, yeah, was she good enough, do you mean?
Was she
Is that what
good?
you're
Yeah.
saying? Yeah, she'd have to say that, yeah. The fact that when I actually just wanted to go working in hotels, that was a terrible thing to do as well.
Yeah.
But it was a
So
great
there was
thing
some
to do.
sense of expectation on you from your parents in terms of business and career.
I think there is on everybody.
Yeah.
The biggest thing we've learned as a couple over the last 14 years that we've been together is exactly that we get along much better when we're away from the family than we do when we're closer to it, although hopefully we're stronger enough to handle that because we're going to go and try it again. But that's because there are expectations put on both sides that neither of the others, no one is aware of until it all happens. In fact, you're not aware of it at all. You learn everything from your parents. It doesn't matter whether that's good, bad, or whatever it is, that's what you learn. So what my idea of a good husband was, compared to what my wife's idea of a good husband was, because she didn't have a father role model. I had a father who got up at dawn and went to work and came home after we'd sleep. So they were completely different. We only discovered last year, actually, something that had always been a problem. We never really knew why, and that was money. When we could never discuss money together. It always wound up in a fight. And that was because my parents always talked about money. That's all. When we came home at night and sat down at the dinner table, my job from probably 8 years on was to count the till and do the float for the next day. So we talked about it all the time.
You were hands-on money.
Yeah. Whereas my wife, her only recollection of money was in the early days when her father and mother, because he was an addicted gambler and an alcoholic, would argue about money.
How did you solve it?
Well, I had to stop bringing it up in the way that I was bringing it up, as if it was a problem, or this is what we have to do, or I think we should do this. And she had to stop and think, oh, hang on, we're doing this together, and this is for the benefit of both of us. Let's talk about how we should go about doing this.
And it's working?
Oh yeah, tremendously. We had a period of a year separation when all the financial drama was occurring 6 years ago. It's only through her intestinal fortitude that we wound up back together again. So, and that's great.
Was that separation a mutual thing?
No, that was me running away.
Was it?
Yeah, that was me feeling an enormous failure.
Yeah.
Which, as it turns out, wasn't how she saw it, and it was more, as I learned over time, a guilt thing that I had about what I thought I'd done. So it was my expectations that created the disappointment in me.
But a year is a long time.
Yeah, it is. I ran away a long way.
Did you? You knew how to run.
Yeah, I was a good runner.
It must have been a pretty hard year for both of you, emotionally.
Emotionally, yeah, it was.
Hey, where did we go? Days when the rains came. Down in the hollow, playing a new game. Laughing and a running, hey, hey. Skipping and a jumping. In the misty morning fog with our hearts that thumping and you. A brown-eyed girl.
We have you in our sights.
Absolutely.
Hi there. My name's Andrew.
Andrew, Christopher.
Christopher. Can we ask you where you're going?
I'm actually looking for a sofa of all things.
A sofa? How
Yeah.
big does it have to be?
Oh, three person, I think. Nice and long, nice and comfortable.
Right.
Yeah, and do a bit of shopping, then go do a bit of work, I think.
Why do you need a sofa?
Well, moving to a new house, and we've got a very vacant, flat room, which needs something comfortable to sit in front of.
Right. Is it on your own?
No, I'm renting with a friend and a business associate, and yeah, I'm just after a
Needs something that... What about colour? Does that matter?
Colour does matter. It's got to have a long life too. It's got to be with me forevermore. I mean...
So it's going to be your sofa?
It's going to be my sofa.
Yeah.
So we're both getting sofas each, actually.
Oh,
so
I see.
when we eventually move on, we'll have our own...
What's your budget?
Oh... you know, wouldn't mind spending a couple of $1,000s on a nice sofa, yeah.
Have you looked before, or is this your first outing?
No, what I tend to do is I tend to look around a lot, and then I go back and see the sofa I like a second time, and then I'll maybe come back a third time and make a decision.
Right, so you're not an impulsive shopper.
I'm not an impulsive... I actually just bought a world band radio on an impulse just then.
Did you?
Got it at half price. So I am an impulsive buyer in some ways.
What do you do?
I work in the film business. I'm a film technician.
Right.
Run a grip truck.
Yeah.
Specialise in a remote control camera crane.
Right.
So I've got a lot of film equipment and I run my own show. Mm-hmm. Been working for myself for about 8 years now.
Do you like working for yourself?
I think it's great.
You're a good boss?
You can ask your boss if you want a day off. You can do this, do that. No, it's great. It's very empowering.
Yeah.
Working for yourself if you can.
But that's the life of a gypsy a bit, isn't it?
Yeah, it is that element, but you just got to be consistent. You know, you've got to get up and stick to your guns. Yeah. Keep a diary and keep ticking things. That's a good idea.
Is that what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, my office is here.
Right.
ready to go.
What sort of things do you put in your diary?
Just, I mean, look, it can be anything from a meeting to washing the car. I mean, if it's a positive thing that you set out to do that day and you tick it, then that's end of the day. If you can look at a group of ticks, some of higher priority than others, then you're moving forward.
Do you do that every day?
Yes.
Yeah. So obviously, good days are when everything's ticked.
Good. Ideally, everything's ticked, you know. But you know, the first tick should be a swim, I think, as much as possible. So yeah, no, ticks are good. Ticks are positive actions.
What I mean, is there an entry in there? Ring girlfriend?
No, that's kind of innate behaviour, you know. That automatically happens.
That happens. Doesn't need to be recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us about her.
Well, I've actually just broken up with my lady after.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So we're still good friends and what have you, but no, I'm a single man now.
Right. How long were you together?
About 4 years.
Yeah. Why'd you break up? Was it just end of the road?
A lot of reasons. Couldn't go any much further with the relationship for various reasons, and I'm fairly hyperactive and fairly busy, and just our lifestyles are too different at the end of the day, and for various reasons, yeah. We never argued a day in our whole time together, and so we're still good friends and things.
So how did you end it? Was it a mutual arrival at the same time?
Yeah, I think it was a mutual arrival. It was kind of the realisation that it was going to happen, and yeah, we kind of just both eased out of it. Yeah. So it was.
And there isn't.
Only 4 weeks ago, so it's quite fresh in the fresh wound.
Yeah. What would be your idea of a big step forward, career-wise?
Big step forward would be.
That's within your reach.
Well, it was within my reach. A big step forward is like acquiring more equipment for the business, or a big step forward would be buying a property, which I haven't kind of succumbed to yet.
But you want
I want to, but I'm just focusing on the business at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of work, I mean, if you got a call, what would be the sort of phone call you'd really like to get from, say, your agent?
Well, I was once rock climbing in Sydney Harbour, and I was on an overhang, and my phone rang, and my girlfriend goes, "Oh, it's a phone for you, Chris." And I said, "What is it?" And said, "Oh, they want to know if you can go to Papua New Guinea to film Johnny Diesel." I said, "That'll be fine, thanks." So
this is rock climbing.
I've climbing jobs around water, jobs anywhere beautiful.
Right.
I mean, ambition. I like to work on more feature films and larger scale projects.
Yeah.
And
do you think you have what it takes to do that? Are you confident in yourself?
Well, I think I have what it takes. I think it's just a case of carrying on. Yeah, absolutely.
And finding the opportunity.
Yeah, well, I've had just increasing the opportunity as much as possible.
Yeah.
Increasing contacts.
What about setbacks? What's the worst setback you've had, or a bad setback?
Oh, I think the worst setback was having my camera stolen recently.
Was it insured?
Luckily, it was insured, and the insurance company came good.
Yeah.
So, I think in my life I haven't really had any major setbacks. Luckily, I haven't had any major health problems. Haven't had any career break problems. So no, not really one for setbacks. Luckily.
Big breaks. Any lucky breaks?
Oh, absolutely. I think getting the job, getting into this industry in the first place was a lucky break. I got into a good course and a good job on the same day, so there's been a lot of lucky breaks in the way through.
So you must feel pretty lucky.
Well, I think so. Yeah, it's kind of, I feel lucky, absolutely. I feel lucky to live in Sydney. I feel lucky to live near the beaches. I feel lucky to work for myself, because I think that's the way society's going, more the emphasis on self-employment and things. So I'm kind of, I'm happy. I'm a happy person.
Living in a sliding hell.